Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today, well, I'm going to be doing a review of the new, well, I say new, they came out what, like 4 weeks ago now, I think, the second Doctor and TARDIS from the War Games. So if I just stand him up, there we go. Now this set is quite an interesting one. It was one I was not particularly that interested. Well, I still wanted it obviously, but it didn't. I just thought, oh cool, another TARDIS set. It just didn't like give me that wow factor that TARDIS sets normally do. However, with this one, I'm kind of surprised because well, it's a really good set to be fair, and the TARDIS is actually quite accurate. So yeah, the background for the this set is the Sidrat Bay from the War Games. I've just watched the War Games recently, so yeah. So we'll go over the second Doctor figure first because, well, I don't. This set is kind of half and half. I think I prefer the. I don't know. I like both of them, to be honest. Both the things in this set. So Troughton, well, articulation. His head turns from side to side. Doing obviously, yeah. This is a figure you don't do a 360 with. His elbow turns, bicep, elbow, wrist. Did I say that was an elbow? I hope I didn't. Well, his arm turns. Yeah. Waist swivel, T-crotch joint, which can look a bit funny. Thigh and knee, and that's it. So this is based obviously on his appearance from the War Games, and it's a specific sort of point with this. If anything, if you take away the weathering, this is actually more of a space pirates figure, technically. Which, yay, space pirates, huh? You know that story that everyone loves. Sorry, well, someone's hoovering, so I've closed my door. So hopefully you can't hear it. If you can, I'm sorry, but I want to get this review over and done with because there's something I really want to record as well. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is based on his appearance from the War Games, and yeah, it's more of a space pirate. If you take away the weathering, it's more of a space pirates figure. Um, um, but it's more of a sort of space pirates figure, if anything. So, well, yeah. So sorry, I've lost my train of thought now. So we'll go over the head. Well, as always, it's a great likeness to Patrick Troughton. I mean, the swipe, you can tell who it is, obviously. So a head sculpt is great if you can tell who it is. But no, it does look like him. Obviously, yeah, you've got his eyes and, his black hair, which, well, should actually, hold on, maybe they've corrected. The thing is, if Troughton had, he didn't have black hair, sorry. Troughton has very, 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 like, a dark brown hair. And getting this on the sort of light, it does look like a dark brown. Although on camera it's appearing to be black. I think it is a very dark brown, it does appear to be. But yeah, they may have got that right or not, I don't know. But again, great likeness as always. They've added this really weird sort of like bit of paint because I'm sure there's been a Troughton figure without it. Here's the one from last year, the B&M one. No, Two Doctors one. You can see like obviously like it doesn't look as thick though. Like, actually, well, compared to that, it actually looks alright. I don't know. I think it may just depend on which one you get, but I mean, it looks fine. Actually, to be honest, looking at it again, but obviously, yeah, he looks quite grumpy. Like, Then the coat has been very well done. I love the weathering on this. So it's obviously meant to be, because obviously he's going through the trenches and, he's going for a lot of shit. 10 episodes. It's quite fucking, he's running through trenches and doing a whole load of other shit. So they have represented that quite well, I think. But you've got his sort of you've got the weathering, which is really nice. It's sort of just sort of dry brushed over the coat and everything. And obviously you've got his buttons and his pockets. We'll come back to these. And we'll go over this now. The shirt. Now there's been debate if this is a white or light blue. Now, when the publicity images for this came out, I thought, yeah, that's white. However, Batman March said in his review, it's a very, 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 very light blue, and I was like, is it? When I got the figure, it looked light blue to me. I was looking at it again today. It looks white. On camera, it's probably looking light blue right now. Looking at it in real life right now, it's white. So I don't really fucking know. I think it is a very light blue, but see, it sort of looks light blue right now. It's very hard to tell, to be honest. I mean, it looks white to me right now, but on camera it looks light blue. I think it may just depend on the lighting, but I think it is a light blue. Also, well, if you lift up the coat, lovely. And then you've got his obviously the shirt has got the buttons and the creases and everything. And then you've got his bow tie, which, credit to B&M, they've done really well with this, I think. They've actually went, well, not B&M, I guess, but character, they've actually went through that effort to add the polka dots, which are actually nicely painted. They're not like really, sort of bled or overlapped or anything, although there seems to be a bit of paint overlapping there, which is fine. But it's the polka dots. They've done them really well, to be honest. They've actually done quite well with them. But yeah, obviously it's his blue bow tie with white polka dots. Now this, you may have noticed, there's a bit of muck on his face. That is not part of the actual figure. That's how mine was. I don't think I noticed it when I was looking for them all. But yeah, Troughton had shit on his face apparently. Now obviously, yeah, with something like this, you would just like get a wipe or something and just try and take it off. I don't think I'm going to do that because it adds to the figure, because again, he was running through the trenches and he was in mud and shit. So it just adds to that, I think. So I don't mind it. I don't know if his hair's got a wash in it. It might do. I'm not sure. I can't tell. But now I think it adds to it, so I don't mind it. Also, you've got his hands, which, again, it's just the same usual Troughton hands, sort of like that. Now obviously the coat, that's got obviously buttons and, sort of indents and creases and all the detail you expect from Troughton's coat. Now the pockets, obviously the big baggy oversized ones. Now, because I was watching more games again recently, at the start they appear to be sort of like fine, normal way, but by the end they're literally hanging off. I think one of them is, or both of them are. They're literally hanging off his coat. So, this is, I would say this is from a specific point in the war games. This figure, obviously, yeah, with them reusing sculpt, they're not going to do that properly, which is fine. We've got his sort of handkerchief, I guess, which is painted red, which is quite nice. No pattern detail, sadly, but it's B&M. So, and then the trousers. Again, they've been done quite nicely. Checkered, obviously, and they're like a light brown-ish. And again, I think they've got a wash on top. Yeah, you've got that detail all the way around to the checkered design. And then his shoes, they are, if I can just, I think they're a very, I think they're a dark brown. Them, yeah, standard Troughton shoes. Now, probably, like, obviously a sort of main variation point on this figure is this, which, because obviously one of Troughton's trousers, that sounds weird. Basically, in the story, there's a point where Troughton's trousers ripped like this. I think it might be like that from the start. I can't remember, but like you can see the flap hanging off. Now, when the original pictures came out for these, it looked very fake and cartoony. However, that's changed over time. They've now tried to make it sort of blend in more and make it look more natural. And see, I like it and I don't like it. I mean, I appreciate that they're trying to do a different version, sort of variation. I appreciate them going to that lengths, but I don't. I mean, obviously, what they've done is they've just sort of painted this black, and then they've also sort of. I guess it's just the same brown print, but obviously they've tried to fade it and smooth in so it looks like it's flapping over, which I mean, it's fine. Although it really should have been a flesh colour and not black. So it looks like Troughton's spilt a bit of, I don't know, fucking coffee on his trousers. I don't know, but I mean, it's cool. It's a variation, but I like it and I don't like it. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I've got to say for this figure. It's a nice figure. Oh yeah, something as well. Obviously, probably the main reason. Well, some people will be buying this set because it's a main like an actual figure from his era. Because obviously, the only way you could get a figure from his era was the Tomb of the Cybermen pack, which is also quite hard to get now. And then you had the black and white version. But with this, this gives people a chance to get one from his actual era, because all we've had since, well, that original 2009 release, we've only had Troughton's from other stories. So we've had the ones from the Three Doctors and then the ones from the Two Doctors. So I think people are going to be glad to be getting a costume from his actual era. Because it's just the same old figure, obviously. But he's quite nice. I do really like this figure, to be honest. Something as well you need to be wary of. Now, one leg seems to be slightly longer than the other. If you can see how that doesn't line up. Here, these two, that bit and this bit, they're not. See how they don't line up? So I think one leg is slightly longer than the other. So you need to sort of pose him with maybe sort of one leg out. Actually, maybe not. You need to sort of lean him forward a bit, or put the leg back. Or you basically you can't. You're not gonna get him standing up like that, sort of straight, because. Okay, no, actually that's worked. Even though one foot's slightly touched out. Actually, that works as well, but he's leaning forward. But you can't have him standing up completely straight, which is fine. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've really got to say. He's a cool figure, and I do like him. But that's the second Doctor from the War Games. Now we'll move on to the TARDIS. Now, again, this is probably one of the most accurate TARDISes we've ever had. It is quite cool. So we'll start from the top. This, which is amazing. They have done the proper lantern that it should have. So I hope we get a Hartnell box for this. So this is a new sculpt. And it's very cool. So the main colour of the TARDIS is blue, but it's a very, very dark blue. Obviously, if you're looking here, that's your original colour. It almost looks black. But if we just try to get it to, there we go. That, yeah, I appreciate that they've done this. You know, it seems like they're trying to make these TARDISes a bit more accurate and sort of better now. But obviously you've got a sort of bump up here, it's square, and you've also got the struts and the circular lantern in, well, the middle, I guess. Now, one thing with this, they have not individually sculpted this. What I mean is, the plastic, you can see how it's connected here, and they've just painted the ends to give the effect that it's 4 struts holding it. Now, obviously that's slightly inaccurate, like you can sort of see it here, that's obviously not, you know, correct, but to be honest, I'm kind of glad that they've done that, because with these being, you know, B&M and cheap plastic, there was no way that they were going to be able to sculpt these individually without them just fucking, like, you could just probably literally do that and they would snap. So I'm glad that they've done this instead, because if these were just individually sculpted, you know, like a sort of gap in here, these would just break very easily. So I'm glad that they've done that, and from a distance it does give that effect, to be honest. I'm trying not to move the camera around too much because I was quite happy with the position it was in, but it does give that effect. The roof, you've obviously got a sort of, I guess, cross. Now it's the same old square roof. That is the only inaccurate thing I think on this TARDIS. It's the roof. So again, it's about, you know, standard roof, and you've got sort of full focus. You've got, you know, this bit, and obviously, well, the police public call box sign, they have finally changed this, and I'm glad they have. Now, you probably know with TARDISes in the past, like this one, how obviously they just put it on all 4 sides, and that's not how it should be. With this, they have corrected that, and they have used the classic text, not the new series text, which, yeah, they did use on the Paladin TARDIS. They've used the classic text, and on the front you've got black text on white, grey, whatever, and then white text on black on all 3 of the other sides, and that is accurate. I've looked at pictures and this for that. That is correct. So well done to them for actually doing that. It's just making it that bit more better and that bit more different, because it was like that at this point. Now obviously I only really need to go over one main part, and that's the front. So, well, again, you've got more of this bit, the wood, the windows. They're windows. They've got really good wash. Or like, see, like this, I really like that. They've done really good wash on these windows to make them look sort of dirty and grubby. Obviously you've got sort of the panels, I guess. You know, 4 going down, obviously. The same on all the other sides. Then the text, the pull to open sign, again, I looked, this is correct, so it's the correct text, and this is how it should look. Also, my text looks see how it sort of curves a bit. I don't know if that's like that on all of them or just mine, but it appears to be a bit wonky, which again I don't mind, because it represents how the TARDIS prop was at this point. It was fucking rickety and old as shit. So, and obviously they would go on to use it for another 6 years after War Games, 6-7 years. So I don't mind that it looks a bit wonky, but obviously you've got police telephone, free for use of public, advice and assistance obtainable immediately, officers and cars respond to urgent calls, pull to open. And obviously you've got the sort of, well, again, panel bit around. Then you've got the handle, which, that is correct. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think there should be a handle on here as well. It's like that in the Invasion, but I think it changes again in Seeds of Death. I can't exactly remember. It might have a handle, it might not. The only thing really wrong with this is the lock. It should either it should be underneath or not here at all. But again, we're using the old sculpt, so but they're painted quite nice, bright silver. And then well, the bottom again, doors. You know, it's the same on all four sides. You've got these bits, and you know how a TARDIS should look. And then you've got the base, which is the good one, the good cush. The new thinner one, which is obviously much better. So yeah, I'm glad they're using this base now because it's so much better. Because if we just get that fucking, where is it? That fucking horrible thick one, nice new thin one. To be honest, they look really cool together. I think these are my two favourite TARDISes being in. Like, I didn't expect to like this as much, but this is probably my favourite, maybe my favourite TARDIS. I think I still love it now, but when I opened this, I was like, oh, this is such a fucking cool TARDIS. It's so cool. But I think I still prefer this one. Maybe the Shadow. My favourite ones that B&M have done is this, Shadow and Androzani. They're my favourite ones that B&M have done. So the recent TARDIS sets are fucking great. The Peldon one's fine. But I'm not that bored about it. But this, probably still my favourite they've done. I just really like it. This TARDIS, it's just very cool, I think. But anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much it. Guess I've got nothing else to say. Fin base. Now, people have been debating the colour of this. Is it grey? Is it black? Is it a very dark blue? It's a very dark blue, like a very, 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 very dark blue, like an extremely dark blue. You've got the original colour in there. It's like very deep fucking navy blue. However, they've applied this grey wash over. Now, when I was going, because I had 10 of these to go through when I went to my store, I was mainly focusing on the shroud and finger. But what, like, obviously I was like focusing on the weathering on that. I couldn't tell with the weathering. I was sort of focusing on the signs and well, I can only see a bit of the windows. But anyway, you know, I was focusing on the weathering. I couldn't tell with the weathering, and like that's the thing with this, because it's so dark, you can't really tell if the weathering, and like, you know, they've applied either it's grey or it might be brown. It might be a light brown or a grey, I don't know, but it gives it the appearance that it's grey. People like it right now. To me, it looks grey. It doesn't, like, I think again it depends on what lighting you get this in. Sometimes it can look grey, sometimes it can look black, sometimes it can look blue. Like right now to me it looks like a very dark blue, but just getting closer to it, it looks grey to me right now. Obviously that's not appearing on camera, but it looks sort of dark blue. But the wash on this thing's really good. It's gave it this just old rickety tattiness, just very old look. Ignore Romana 2. And it's just very cool. This, it just looks old and battered and just, it's so cool. It's very well done. I don't know what colour of the water. They probably just mixed all the paint or whatever. I don't know, but it gives it a grey appearance in real life. Even though it's looking sort of blue right now. But yeah, I think it looks like they've applied wash on the base as well, but I don't think they have. Obviously, you've got copyright shit down here. But yeah, it's lovely. This, again, this might be the most accurate TARDIS we've ever got. The only thing that's wrong is the roof. It should obviously have, like, that bit. like how it's sort of stacked up a bit, and there's like that bit missing in the middle on all four sides as well. I think that's all it should have. Although the body shape, I think the body shape's correct. If they added that, this would be the most accurate TARDIS ever. Obviously, again, this is not 100% accurate. Also, this square bit, I don't think should be here. I think this bit should be removed, and then it should just be that literally on top of the roof. I don't think this should be here. But again, reusing the old sculpt, so it's fine. But it's a very cool TARDIS. Obviously, you've got, again, all the lovely wood grain effect. Very nice. Still this issue. Fill up the mould, please. But yeah. Now, something interesting with this TARDIS. Again, I don't need to go over it, but I will. Opening doors, as always. Square button. Battery compartment. Do that. You do that. There you go. Now, something interesting with this TARDIS. We just take out John. Now, I don't think many people will know this, but this new roof sculpt was meant to debut on this, the Monster of Peladon TARDIS, but apparently the mould, I think these weren't ready to go. They weren't properly not refurbished, but you know what I mean, manufactured. That's it. So they just stuck to the old kind of crap 3-bit, you know. So this was meant to be on that, and I have a theory. This is probably not true, but I think what they were going to do were this was obviously originally meant to be on this, but wasn't ready to go. I feel like this was going to be on that, and this TARDIS would have had the proper roof sculpt. Not saying that's true, obviously, but that's what I think. So I feel like if this had that, then this would have had the proper roof sculpt. But obviously, I don't know. I don't work for character options, so but that's just what I'm thinking. But these two little boys, they do look cool together. And that's it. Oh, not John. No, oh yeah, actually something else I want to mention. They look so good together. Like, just... If I was to ever do a Doctor display of just like one figure of each Doctor, these are the two I would pick. They look so cool. You babbling idiot. Oh my idiot. I'm being stupid there. But yeah. They just, I don't know what, they just look so cool together. In my opinion, just, look at them. They just look very cool. But, yeah. That is my review of the second Doctor and TARDIS from the War Games. If you can try and get this set, obviously do so. It is a pretty cool set. And yeah, I'm glad we've got a second Doctor TARDIS now. Can we just have a sixth Doctor TARDIS, please? I hope we get a McGann box, even though it'll probably just be a repaint of the fifth Doctor TARDIS. Obviously, we know now we're getting a fifth Doctor TARDIS from Castrovalva. I hope it's the fifth Doctor with the red coat and not that fucking old awful, you know, waistcoat with the scarf that doesn't even fit him. Maybe they could do the scarf like unraveling, but you know, yeah. So, yeah, it's a nice set. Again, I mean, it's not a TARDIS set, but it's a cool one. It's a really cool one. I don't know if it's my favourite, but it will look fucking amazing when you're 60s. But yeah, it's a great set. Do get it. That's all I've really got to say. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.